Broads Media.
Wow. Can't say I'm surprised. I've only been screaming from the mountaintops for about 4 weeks now. This team stinks. They absolutely blow. They are not a serious contender. But bros, their record, but bros, they have 11 wins, but bros, they have some really good wins under their belt. Yeah, before they broke. It is irrelevant what happened before San Francisco. I've been stressing that since San Francisco because you don't have swag. You don't have balls. You don't have toughness. Eli Ricks is losing body parts. Literally, his ankles are snapped in half and he's stuck on the field. I don't even know if he was able to get undressed because his body's all disformed. Okay, Shaq Leonard can't make a tackle to save his life. Ringo is getting abused a couple times out there. Illegal contact by the end zone. The flag, maybe the flag was a poor call, but it's irrelevant because when you have a young corner out there, you don't have a vet who really has a fingertips or has any sort of grasp on the referees, on the officials. When you're young, you don't get calls. Ringo didn't get the call. Kyler Murray down the field all game long. McBride, the first throw of the game, goes for 25 yards. Connor running through you. Carter running through you. You suck. You suck. And the audacity of the actual Philadelphia Eagles locker room blaming the crowd. You guys are too loud. We can't operate our offense. You suck. Just what it is. You suck. You're not good. And Jonathan Gannon, man, he exposed you. How about the sequence after the onside kick? So they go for the onside kick with about 5 minutes to go. You want to hear the sequence after that? Mailata with the hold. There's confusion on who's even supposed to be on the field. On the field. You got someone hesitating, someone else hesitating to run onto the field. Oh, you go here. No, you go. No, you go. No, I go. You go. No, I go. No, you go. No, I go. You go. You go. No, I go. It's the fourth quarter against a team that has 3 wins. You go. No, I go. The hell's the matter with you? 3rd and 20 after a couple keepers. Timeout. Timeout! Timeout! We're using a timeout. Okay. Yeah, no. Please, use your timeout. Let's get everything settled. To throw a screen pass that goes 2 yards, and then you kick a field goal. Jonathan Gannon played it well. Jonathan Gannon played it smart. Jonathan Gannon outcoached the hell out of you. Do you know how bad you are if you get outcoached by pew, 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 explosives? This guy greets people like that. That's how this guy gets started. In what world do you lose to a human being that talks to other human beings like that? This game wasn't even close. Can't get off the field on 3rd downs. Sidney Brown had a pick 6, right? Just because of some miscommunication by Arizona. If that never happens, oh my God. You were up 21-6. Don't know how. You got the ball for the first time in the second quarter with under 2 minutes to go. And luckily you get in the end zone. Oh, Julio Jones. Yeah, people are cheering for Julio Jones. This team stinks. I never felt so emotionless than after Dallas Goedert's touchdown to go up 28-21. And you got lucky because Arizona gets a neutral zone because of a hard count. They jump. So when it was 2nd and 2, you lose 7 yards with Jalen Hurts keeping the football. It's now 3rd and 9. And then luckily Arizona jumps, and then you get a touchdown by Goddard. But Devontae Smith probably could have been called for a flag. They didn't call it. This team's a disaster. I've only been saying it for weeks, and I don't want to be right. Trust me, I'd rather be wrong. I'd rather see success. I want to have faith that they can do something in the postseason. But my eyeballs were telling me everything I needed to know. But everyone wanted to kind of hide behind the fact that, boy, they had double-digit wins. They were finding ways to win early. Irrelevant if you were finding ways to win early, because what happened against San Fran ruined your entire season because you came up tiny, because you don't have what it takes, because you can't answer, because you're not tough. You were getting ran over. Josh Sweat not finishing the tackle to get to Kyler Murray. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And then he's crying on the bench. I can't do anything. I can't do anything. I can't stop him. Joke. Absolute joke. Let's get to our poll here in the Bleacher Report. Are you shocked that this happened? I want you to be honest. 23% are shocked. 23% are shocked. 77% are not. And even someone who's been saying that they're not very good for a while now, I'm shocked they lost to Arizona. I didn't expect it to be pretty. I didn't think it would be good. But you know what I expected? A freaking win. A win. I projected maybe a 3-point win. One of those that were irritated, were bothered, were annoyed by it, but they still win. Especially because I'm rooting my ass off for Dallas last night because I want a shot at the 1 or 2 seed. 1 or 2 seed. You can shove that right up your keister. Be lucky to even get 14 points in a postseason game in round 1 at this point. Please. You got no linebackers. Without Slay, you don't have anyone in the secondary. Oh, but Avonte Maddox. How could I forget? Avonte Maddox was apparently going to make a big difference if Shaq Leonard could play. Oh, yeah, because he did good against the Giants. Hold on a second. Let me give this guy a big round of applause. Hey, Shaq Leonard, congratulations on your trash. All right, because I don't want to hear a damn thing about what you did against the New York Giants. Come on. You know how bad the Cardinals are? Seriously. They're not even punting the football. They ran it all over you. They're milking the clock. The time of possession was out of whack. Dude, you stink. This team stinks more than any team could ever stink in the history of stinking. And I mean that. There's a different stank from like an 0-16 Cleveland Browns team. Like, that's different, all right? I'm talking about a team that's supposed to actually do something. And here's A.J. Brown, right? He's screaming at the top of his lungs, shaking his head, walking off the field. I'm sure he's got a lot to say to the media, huh? I'm sure he's got a lot to say in front of his locker today, huh? And even though he has the right to be aggravated and the right to be annoyed, I still want to see a good teammate. I won't see a good teammate because the reason why this team is failing is because they're not together. They're not one. Nick Sirianni has lost the locker room. Nobody believes in the coaching staff. Nobody believes in Matt Patricia. Somehow Matt Patricia's even worse than Sean Desai. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I'm seeing drive, 75-yard touchdown. Drive, 70-plus yards touchdown. Drive, 70-plus yards touchdown. It's like, oh, the game's on the line. 5 minutes, onside kick. Touchdown. Another touchdown. Missing tackles. And while I'll rip Howie Roseman for the lack of not additions, but when you lose a lot of guys in the offseason and you try and plug and play, the personnel is a disaster, I guess, is my overall point here. And Howie deserves a lot of blame. There's still enough where that shouldn't happen. Okay, I'm sorry. So whether that's player, whether that's coaching, it's not a great defense. It shouldn't be getting torched and lit up by this Cardinals crap. There is a middle ground here. They're not good. Teams like San Fran and Baltimore, they're licking their chops, knowing they can put up a 50-burger on your ass. That's real. But what can happen is Connor just ripping right through you. They run the ball well. You knew they run the ball well, right? I'm not taking anything away from Arizona. You knew they run the ball well. What are you going to do about it? You're just going to take it? You're going to do something about it? Did you challenge them? Did you ask if they could meet the moment to stop the run? Stop the freaking run against Kyler Murray, Jonathan Gannon, and Connor. Yet here's Carter, too. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Team stinks. Don't know if I said that yet this show. I just want to make sure that that's very clear and that's on high alert. Oh, they got 3 games left. They can win out. They win out. They'll be okay. You know, that there's so many Eagles fans that all week long on WIP called in and tried telling me that they were playing possum. Playing possum. They were playing possum. They were playing bad on purpose. So when they get to the postseason, wait for this, they turn it around. Oh, excuse me. What the hell are you talking about? You can't be for real. You cannot be for real. Let me explain something to you. You know what that's called? Delusional. You're delusional. It's a joke. No. They are horrible at their job. It's what it is. You don't want to believe. And if you haven't realized the foundation crack by now, I hope you finally see it. Now, I wonder if there are some out there that feel as bad as I did after San Fran. Maybe this is their version of the San Fran game. I don't know why it took this long for you to see it, but maybe you're there. I hope to God that nobody's actually trying to sell optimism, right? But please, no. I can't take it. Optimism with this team? Seriously. Come on now. I'm sure by Wednesday, though, they'll show. But the offense, look, oh, man, there's a problem. Everybody hates one another on this team. I swear to God, they don't like one another. A.J. Brown doesn't like his teammates. 3rd and 5, throwing it up to Devontae Smith. Probably should have made that play. Now, the ball was fading, and it put him in a tough predicament. But Devontae Smith is such an unbelievable skill position player. I've seen him make those catches where the ball's going over his head, and he finds it right into the firmness of his hands. I've seen that before, 1,000%. Probably should have made the catch. But the ball was drifting. The ball was drifting. Man, if I'm Sean Desai, I'm fist pumping. Swear to God, I'm fist pumping. I'd even do it with those stupid little cameras, catch the people upstairs. I'd flip the camera off. Oh, yeah. Making all sorts of faces. I'd even maybe talk to it, too, to see if they could pick it up. Yo, Matt! Maybe even speaking to his microphone. Hey, yo, is this thing on? Yo, Matt! You blow! You blow! You blow! You blow! That's what I'd do if I was Sean Desai. You know, there was a Jeff McLean report that just came out that apparently, listen to this, they took 3rd downs away from Sean Desai weeks prior than the big-time announcement publicly. So hold on a second. Those 3rd downs that he was getting crushed for nonstop, that already happened. Fellas, ladies and gentlemen, it already happened. Doesn't matter what defensive coordinators out there. They got 0 answers, man. Arizona was wide open all over the field. 5 yards, no defender even near them. How? It's just a simple question. How? It's crazy. It really is. The chat is just flying. A lot of people are not happy. Cowboys fans cheering away. That's a whole nother debacle. And I don't think today's the day for me to discuss what the NFL did, even though I was rooting heavily for the Dallas Cowboys because I thought it could help this team. And the reason why I needed it desperately is because this team needs every piece of help that they can get. Okay, it wasn't because I thought the Eagles were good and deserved it. It was, I have no idea how they're here, Maybe it's because some of the other teams in the NFC aren't very talented, but I hated hearing that. Why? Because if the Eagles are in the same category as the Lions and some of these other teams in the NFC, even Dallas, you know what that tells me? The Eagles aren't good. The Eagles are bad. The Eagles are trash. And that's exactly what played out into fruition right in front of our faces. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that it is terrible. Terrible. Now, EJ discusses Brian Johnson's play call. It's everything, man. It's Nick Sirianni. It's Brian Johnson. It's Sean Desai. It's Matt Patricia. It's literally every important coach except for Jeff Stoutland. We love Jeff Stoutland to death. Yet you let Denard Wilson, who everybody in that locker room praised about and loved him to death, he goes to Baltimore. Do a quick favor for me. Hit that Google button, okay? I want you to hit your Safari on your iPhone. Type in Denard Wilson. Let me know what he's doing. I'll tell you for free. He's with the Baltimore Ravens, and those guys are monsters, okay? They're monsters. You know what we're dealing with? Changing defensive coordinators, but not actually taking away their title, of course. No, we're going to keep a guy who lost his job. He's just going to stay here. By the way, the Ravens put up 56 to 19. 19 points to Tua in that Miami. I didn't pay a damn 1 second attention to that game by any means. So I have no idea what the hell happened. But my point is, you had someone in-house who the entire locker room loved and desperately wanted. You go, no, thank you. I want nothing to do with him. He leaves, goes to a team that's a juggernaut. And now you're in this whole, what the hell do we do with our coaches? What do we do with our team right now? I've never seen anything like this in my life. And Ant says that Nick needs to get some balls and fire Brian Johnson. I don't trust Nick Sirianni to save my life. I don't think Nick Sirianni has what it takes to keep this room together. He's not very creative offensively. They don't do a damn thing that intrigues me at all. And now, obviously, they lose. They just got outcoached by Jonathan Gannon. In no way, shape, or form should I be sitting here and putting Nick Sirianni on a pedestal like he deserves to have all the power to make changes. Absolutely not. Now, I'm not saying that he deserves to lose his job. They're in the playoffs, and every year he's been here, they make the playoffs, yada, 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 yada. I'm saying I don't think Nick Sirianni's good, and maybe after next season, then that discussion starts to get to the hot seat. But he hasn't done a damn thing to prove his worth this year for me. Not at all. When one playoff game and all this talk stops, would it stop? Depends how the game's won. If they won a game where it looked like this, and it was like, dude, what? I don't know how they're in this game, but somehow it's a one-possession game with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The other team gets a penalty, 2 penalties. It forces them to punt. Now you magically get the ball back in your hands, and you go down and kick a field goal and win. Hey, I'll tell you what, I'm not going streaking for a W like that. So there's no way in hell that it's just any win. I don't know if they go out there and they mollywop a team and put up 56, but that won't happen because this defense is going to be on the field for 7 minutes at a time, 8 minutes at a time, 9 minutes at a time, because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to tackle. They don't know how to scheme. They don't know how to get stops on third down. They don't know how to get to the quarterback. They can't sack. They don't really create any turnovers. Stop it. But that turnover by Sidney Brown, cool moment for him. And that was the first time in a long time that I actually felt an adrenaline rush of excitement. Well, that lasted about 6 minutes, if that, 5 minutes. My God. But that Sidney Brown turnover was nothing that the Eagles did. That was strictly miscommunication on Kyler Murray's part with his skill position players. Like, come on now. You weren't doing anything. Now you take what you can get. And sometimes other teams are going to constantly shoot themselves in the foot. And what do you do when that's the predicament? You would think that against this opponent that it would be enough, right? I mentioned it during the Football Friday preview pod. I saw it similar to what we just witnessed with the New York Giants. The Eagles are the Giants are so pathetic, and just like the Cardinals are so pathetic, that your talent can win alone, even if you were to make mistakes. Boy, was I wrong. Okay, let's get our final numbers on the Twitter poll. Are you shocked that this happened? 70% of the chat says no, they are not surprised. 30% said yes. I think the 30% are the ones that are telling the truth, because even if you were as down bad as you are, the Cardinals, you were a 12-point favorite, people. A 12-point favorite. It's a lot in the NFL. This is in college football, where you see minus 37.5 spreads. Double-digit spread in the NFL is a big deal. Huh. Just got bent over. It's ridiculous. All right, let's keep things rolling here, and let me tell you about my friends over at HelloFresh. What is HelloFresh? You get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip the trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy and fun and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. A crazy schedule can make it easy to fall back into your dinner time recipe rut. So keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from every week. So there's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh. HelloFresh does all the shopping and meal planning for you. Ingredients arrive right at your doorstep, pre-portioned and ready to cook, along with pictured step-by-step recipe cards. How easy is that? And fellas, HelloFresh is 25% less expensive than takeout. So that means you get easy home-cooked meals on the table and even more money back in your pocket. So go to HelloFresh.com/50broads and use code 50broads for 50% off plus free shipping. That's code 50broads for 50% off plus free shipping. It is America's #1 meal kit. So make sure you check it out down below in the description. Let's go to the Anytime Hotline, hear from the fans. I'm sure this is going to be lovely. Let's do it.
Hey, Brody, this is Fred from Newman, California, Eagles fan. Excuse me, did the Eagles have a defense on the field against the Cardinals today on Sunday? Because if they did, I didn't see any. That's the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what's going to happen in the playoffs, but it's not looking good. Hey, have a good week. Talk to you later. Bye.
Well, I appreciate you wishing me a good week. I can't even think about the damn playoffs. I can't think about the playoffs at all. They don't know what they're doing. And I love Brandon Graham to death. We all love Brandon Graham to death. But to say, hey, there's some optimism here, we're going to figure this thing out. Well, no, I don't expect someone to just say, hey, we blow, by the way, and they react the way I react. I don't want them to do that. But maybe read the room a little bit, because nobody is picking up what you are putting down, my friend. I've never in a billion years thought that it would get this bad. It would be bad. And I recognized that it was trending south. But even through the dark times, you know what I thought their dark times were? Not good enough to beat maybe someone else in the NFC, but good enough to beat a 3-win team. Good enough to beat a 4-win team, a 5-win team, the trash of the trash, the garbage, okay? The big piles of crap. You could beat them. I thought. Now you're closer to them than I anticipated. I don't want to hear from other fan bases, you don't know how good you have it, you're in the postseason. Giants fans tried doing that to me. Giants fan, you don't get it, man. We got to watch Daniel Jones. We have to watch DeVito. We have to watch this. The Jets fan, we have to watch it. I don't care. Sorry that your team blows too. It doesn't mean my bar is now set to at least I'm not the frickin' New York Jets, or at least I'm not one of the teams like, I don't know, name one that's bad. The Eagles. I mean, now the Eagles are in that category where other squads can go, oh, Jesus. I mean, the Eagles, they have no idea how to operate. Well, I guess I can't even argue that at this point. You are a mess. You are filled with slop. You piss me off. You get me mad. And I thought, honestly, deep down, that it wouldn't really hit any nerve, because at the end of the day, they're not capable of doing anything serious. And I've been publicly beating that down for weeks. Yet, when I saw this and just saw how it all transpired, I was actually wondering if Jonathan Gannon would go for 2 instead of kicking the extra point to tie it, because You can score on this team at will. You can find wide open plays at will. And even if it's not a wide open play, just run through them because they're not going to tackle you, okay? Because there's not going to be good coverage. So you could do whatever the hell you want to do. You could just barrel. Honestly, at one point, Kyler Murray stopped himself. He had a wide open touchdown. They couldn't. They would have scored anyway. They did eventually score anyway, but he just ran into his own teammate who was the lead block, and he had another extra 5, 6, 7 yards. And I was wondering if they were to have to settle for something else, or if they weren't going to punch it in and they got stuck in the red zone. Was it fully just because Kyler Murray made an uh-oh? Because all that Arizona Cardinals team does is make uh-ohs. The problem is you made more uh-ohs than they made uh-ohs. That's a 3-win football team. Oh, man.
Tell everybody, fucking fire everyone. I feel dumber every week I watch this team. My intelligence is just going down every time I have to watch this pathetic squad come on the field. Offensively, I don't even talk about offense. Let's just go down the fucking, was it touchdown, field goal, and they had one oopsie-daisy pass where they had a miscommunication where we got a pick six. Not one punt again. What the fuck's going on? This is, I just want this to be over. The nightmare is just getting worse and worse, watching this garbage come out every fucking week, watching this bullshit.
I hope everybody hears this. I hope all the guys in the locker room on their way home or their way to the NovaCare complex this week throws on a good Sports Talk with Broads podcast, which you can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and all your podcasting platforms, of course. So if you want to leave a 5-star rating and a review, that would mean the world to me and go super far. But I hope that they are listening to what these fans have to say because it's real. It's real. It's not, hey, they're being irrational. Hey, they're being obnoxious. Hey, they're going overboard and taking it too far. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're actually right on the money. Wait a second. We're actually nailing it down to perfection. That's the problem. What we're claiming is bang. It's exactly what you are. You're frauds. I have a buddy who's a Lions fan. He's chirping me. The Lions can reasonably chirp you. And last night they got screwed. All right? They clearly reported the proper linemen. Today's not the day for that. Lions fans can mock you. Joe Flacco out the grave, dude, with Jim Schwartz putting together a masterful performance. Winning games. Tough football. You're fragile as hell, man. You're shattered into 1,000 pieces in that room. Are they old and slow defensively? Yeah. The Byards of the world. Sweat has a lot of snaps for his season, and he's not historically up to that standard to play that many snaps. Now, is that a product of maybe Nolan Smith not being ready, Brandon Graham getting up there in age, having to rely on other names? I don't know. I don't really know the breakdown. I saw Nolan Smith miss a big tackle. Guys are missing tackles all over the place, But then there's also youth. So it's like they're either too young and too raw. Eli Ricks, bro. There were people trying to put out there that, can you imagine, in a couple years, Ricks and Ringo and Joe. Are you serious? What's the goal? What's the end goal? What's your vision? Because if you sit here and think your next stud, not good, not average, not decent, stud, secondary player, stud is on this team, God bless you. Maybe Sidney Brown one day. Maybe he could be a stud. Maybe. But more with the corners. You don't have it on this roster. And if you want to convince yourself that it's putting the Eagles goggles on and getting sucked into nonsense. You can't get sucked into nonsense. You know what happens when you get sucked into nonsense? You believe that Howie Roseman's offseason was phenomenal. And you know what? I was part of that crew. But I'm no longer going to be blinded. I'm no longer going to get sucked into that. There's no way in hell I allow that to happen.
Well, hey, enough being fucking nice. Enough being fucking polite about it. This team is dog shit. They think they're hot shit. They're fucking trashy. Dudes aren't playing fucking hard. And the defense is fucking absolute joke. Can't tackle for shit. Defense is complete fucking garbage. Yes, it falls right on Sirianni's head. This team is fucking trash. They're going to get smoked in the first round. That's exactly what they deserve the way they are playing. Fuck this team, bros.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. I don't have any other words. That is so totally amazingly perfect. All right, before we head out of here, let me tell you about my friends over at TickPick. If you click the link down below in the description right now, my promo code is activated, and you get $10 off of your purchase when looking to go to a Flyers game or a Sixers game or a concert or anything out there. And they have the best prices guaranteed. Their ticket prices will beat any of the major competing marketplaces, and they are so confident about it that TickPick guarantees it. If you find the same seats elsewhere at a better price than TickPick, you get 110% of the price difference in form of TickPick credit. And there's also upfront pricing. So no more doing the math in your head to prepare for how much extra you plan on spending on top of the listed price than on other sites. Because the price you see on TickPick is the price you'll pay at checkout. Period. End of story. There's no added service fees, hidden fees, or otherwise. So make sure you join the TickPick family and get started. Click the link down below. All right, I'm going to wrap this puppy up. I greatly appreciate all your support. It'll be a fun week, I tell you. A fun week. We'll be talking about it.